Sam, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited for you to be with us.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me, Amanda. It's good to see you.
You too. And for those of you who don't know, me and Sam are good friends. We've never actually met in real life, but that's the
Yeah.
way of the online world. But she is a dear friend of mine and runs an incredible podcast, which I will link to, called The Essential Oils Revolution. And yeah, Sam is here today. Obviously, this week is all about detoxification of the body and the house and our skin. And Sam is an expert in many areas, especially essential oils. So Sam, maybe you could just tell us a bit about your story, your journey. There's always a story when it comes to health. So maybe you could share a bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah, it's hard to narrow down that story, but I'll try. I think for me, it really started in college, I'd say, where I had a bit of a nervous breakdown when it's part of it was probably just being a normal 19-year-old, but major anxiety, major depression, and a lot of that just came from my sensitivity to what was happening in the world, just environmentally and politically and with social justice. It was like I was a very sensitive person, and I broke down, and I dropped out of college. I started traveling cross country, and on those journeys, I was basically hopping from, different places around, studying from different people, trying to live a more sustainable lifestyle, and really learning from experts in that field. And one of the core lessons that I sort of got out of all that and how I became so interested in health and wellness was this notion of sustainability of our own health. And when you hear the word sustainability, you typically align that with like environmentalism or our surroundings. But for me, I became really obsessed and interested in like sustainability of our own health and taking control of that and being empowered to know how to keep ourselves well instead of waiting for a crisis to happen or having some crazy symptoms happening and having to rely on a doctor or an outside source for help for that. Learning how to take that power into our own hands, learning how to keep ourselves well using nature's gifts, using natural resources. That really just became like my whole obsession in life. And I was dealing with some health struggles myself. I've dealt with allergies my whole life, fatigue, depression, anxiety. And so really just studying from all these different herbalism experts and nutritionists and all these people with that notion of learning how to empower myself. And now that's what I get to do for other people is help inspire them and empower them on the podcast. That's what we do that's really my mission, is just to help people wake up and realize like, this is their body, this is their health. They can take control of it, and just giving them the information and the tools for them to be able to do that.
That's awesome. I love that. I love the kind of emphasis on that we can actually take almost responsibility for it if we're empowered to. And I mean, I think a lot of people sometimes feel like victims in a world where there's just, there's so much thrown at us, from media and food companies, but we actually have the power to take control of our own health.
Yeah. Well, and in fact, we're the only ones that can do that. I mean, if we don't do it, who else is going to do it for us?
Yeah. Right. So how did you end up kind of becoming an expert, well, in my eyes anyway, in essential oils? I mean, I've learned so much from you about it. You kind of got me into it. How did that kind of come about?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't call myself an expert, really just an enthusiast, but because I didn't know anything about essential oils up to about 2.5, 3 years ago. I really thought that essential oils were only used for like perfumes or making, DIY candles and things like that. And then my friend introduced me to Young Living essential oils. And I think it was partly me getting to know that company and really falling in love with what they do and what their core mission is that got me really interested in essential oils and realizing that essential oils are really that plant medicine, that herbalism that I'd been fascinated with for so long, but kind of on steroids. So essential oils are much more potent than, herbs, and so much more accessible too. So, that's it. That's sort of where my interest became, especially learning about the Young Living farms. They're the only company that owns their own farms, and they're really dedicated to sustainability and vibrancy of their plants. I mean, similar to you, I know something you say all the time, Amanda, is real food equals real wellness, right? And it's the
Absolutely.
same with essential oils for me. Like, real essential oils come from real plants, and
Mm.
there's so much adulteration and chemicals being added to essential oils all over the place. So when my friend kind of showed me the difference between these Young Living oils and how these can be used for therapeutic benefits, and then I experienced it myself, and it didn't take me long just to, all it takes is smelling, an oil and having that reaction for
Right.
you to go, wow, like, this is really cool. And then as a mom, I have I have two kids. He's turning 5 in a week.
Oh
Can
my
you believe it?
gosh, wow.
And then I have a 2.5-year-old, and I want to raise them to know that they can be in control of their own health as well. And I want to raise them to stay above that wellness line. And essential oils is so accessible. It makes it so easy
Mm.
to incorporate those gifts that nature has given us into our lives every single day. Cause God bless the mom that can get her kids to drink, an herbal tea, or like take a tincture every day. Like, it's not going to happen with my kids. Like, they'll take some vitamins, but only if I promise them they have their, gummy chewables afterwards. So
Right.
with essential oils, it's something that kids love it. It's fun. You can just put it in a diffuser, and they have no choice. It's getting into their body. It's supporting their immune
Mm.
system. It's supporting their brain. It's supporting their lungs. It's supporting every system of their body. And all it takes is inhaling it or putting it on your skin. And you can just walk over to your shelf, open up a bottle, put a few drops in your hand, and boom. So it's not complicated. You don't have to
Right.
be an expert. You don't have to know how to make all these salves and tinctures and things like that. It's just boom, these gifts are there and super easy to use.
Mm. Oh man, I have so many questions coming up. Okay. I have
Do it, do it.
two questions. The first one is, you mentioned, and I remember when you told me about this, I didn't know that this was kind of a thing that happens. Like, what is the difference between buying any old oil off Amazon for like £3 or $3, whatever, versus, the Young Living stuff that's much more expensive? Like, what's the difference? And also, how does essential oils, how does it get into you? Because you said you can just breathe it in, if you put it on your skin, if you breathe, how does it actually get into your system?
Right. Okay. So first question, I always like to equate it to this analogy of, do you guys have Wonder Bread in the UK? Is that a
Is
thing?
it the bread that you can squash really? Was it not that
Yeah.
one?
But yeah, it's
Really
really
crap bread.
white
Right.
and fluffy and
Yeah.
super cheap,
Yeah.
So
Similar. Yeah.
yeah. So you can walk into a store and buy a loaf of bread for, $1, and that's your Wonder Bread, or whatever your equivalent
Mm-hmm.
cheap brand is over there.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could walk into your local farmer's market and pay $8 to get a loaf of
Mm-hmm.
bread. So you're buying bread here and you're buying bread here. It's the same thing. Technically, they're both bread, but they're completely
Debatable.
different. That's
Yeah.
right. So the bread that we spend, that, in that case, you could spend $1 for a loaf, or you could spend 10 times that much. You could spend $10 on a loaf of
Mm-hmm.
bread. But that loaf of bread that comes from good sources, from, good wheat that's not
Mm.
highly hybridized or highly processed, or, added with a bunch of chemicals, synthetic things,
Mm.
a bunch of crap, that's going to do something to your body. And so it's the same thing with essential oils, but with essential oils, it's almost worse because there's absolutely no regulation in the essential oil industry. So someone, could sell a bottle of frankincense oil on Amazon and say 100% pure therapeutic grade frankincense oil. And they're not required to disclose what's actually in that bottle. It's all just unregulated. So, I mean, I've chased down a few of these companies and figured out what is in that frankincense oil. And it turns out there's absolutely zero actual frankincense. It's just actually cedar
Wow.
wood that's synthesized down to smell like frankincense. So it's definitely where you have to trust your source. And
Mm.
with every other company out there, those companies have to buy from a broker. So a lavender broker that's here's some true lavender, and they have to trust that comes from a true source. And with Young Living, they're in control of every step of the process. They grow their own plants. They don't spray their plants with anything. They don't cut their oils with any synthetic anything. So a lot of really cheap oils will have 0% plant matter in that bottle. It's just all synthesized petrochemicals in a laboratory that smells like a plant. So,
And does
definitely
that must harm the body, right? Like
oh
putting
yeah.
that type of stuff in you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I never want to come across as salesy, but when I like teach an oil class, I tell people like the things I'm telling you, the way that you can use these oils are not the same way that you should be using all oils. Like with Young Living Lavender, you can put that directly on your skin. Like let's say you have a sunburn or burn, you can put that lavender, Young Living Lavender right on that burn, and it'll help it heal. If you go to the store and buy cheap lavender and put that on a burn, it'll turn it into a 3rd-degree burn because those synthetic chemicals are going to harm you. So I never want to be salesy, and I'm not trying to be like everyone has to buy Young Living. I'm just saying you have to trust your source and you have to be careful. So like with lavender, for example, just this really quick kind of scary fact, the Lavenders Growers Association has proven that there's 100 times more lavender oil being exported from France than lavender actually being grown in France. Whoa. So 100 times more. So like, what are we calling essential oils these days? There's no regulation. So again, you just have to trust that where you're buying your oils is a reputable source.
Right. And I mean, one side note, you're probably the least salesy person I know. I think salesy is when somebody doesn't really believe in a product and is trying or hasn't even tried it and is just trying to kind of push it on people. Like when you believe in something and you've experienced it, you can't help but talk about it. And I think, and like the dangers of buying these like crappy kind of oils that are cut with all sorts of other things.
Right.
I'm sure you feel like it's your responsibility to share that with people.
Yeah. Well, especially when I tell people like, yeah, you can use these on your kids. Like don't use a cheap oil on your kids. Like that's dangerous.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So that makes sense. And so how do we, you can obviously, my diffuser's right there, my Young Living diffuser. And I have it on loads. I use,
Wait, did you see this? Someone made me this custom diffuser with my podcast logo on it. You probably can't see it from there. How beautiful is that?
That's amazing.
Yeah. That was cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I have my Young Living diffuser, and I use a lot of this. I love Citrus Blend is my favorite. But yeah, lavender, and they obviously make up their own blends and stuff that I've used like when we've had stomach aches or burns and that type of stuff, and it's true, I actually see the difference from when I used to buy like the cheap stuff online, and even if you put it I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you put it like on a tissue, you can see when you buy the crappy stuff, it's like there's like this almost like I don't know what type of oil around it, whereas when you use the real Young Living stuff, it's just that oil. You can actually see the difference.
Yeah, if you put it like on a white piece of paper and it leaves like an oily residue, you know that it's been cut with something.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Even if the bottle says it's 100% pure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think you were going to ask like the different ways that oils can get into our bodies. So diffusing is obviously one, or just opening up a bottle and smelling it. That's the molecules. So essential oils are, what's the word? I just blanked on it. It's where the molecules dissolve into the air. Right? And there's these teeny tiny little molecules. So they can go directly into your olfactory system, right to the limbic system of our brain. So that's one of the cool things. The limbic system is what controls our emotions. And so essential oils, like the sense of smell is one of the only avenues that we have to tap into those emotional centers. So that's just one like small, tiny way that you can use essential oils is to affect your emotions. But you can also put them on your skin. And because these molecules are so soluble and tiny, they go right into your blood system within 26 seconds. Wow. They'll be in your entire blood system, benefiting your body on so many different levels. And they're so microscopic, tiny that they can even cross the blood-brain barrier, which is really rare for molecules to be able to do that. And so there's a lot of research being done for the positive benefits of oils on brain health. It's really, really cool.
Wow. That's amazing. So you could literally just smell, say lavender because you're feeling a bit stressed or whatever and you want to feel calm, and it will get into your like system super fast.
Yeah.
that will
Yeah.
affect
It's
your
really cool.
emotions.
You should look up Dr. Ollie Winkler, and he does these videos. I mean, he does a lot of stuff, but one of these things is he'll put this brain mapping like helmet on,
Oh yeah.
and he'll inhale different essential oils, and it'll show up on his brain what part of his brain is being stimulated by
Oh
that
wow.
oil, because all these oils have different properties. So like lavender will stimulate, I forget what the scientific word, but like the calming center of the brain. And then frankincense will, stimulate the other part of the brain. It's really cool. So
Oh, that's amazing. Well, if you send me
Mhm.
that, I'd love to link to it for people to
Sure.
watch.
Yeah. I'll make a note and send that link to you
That's
later.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So obviously essential oils is one thing, but I know that you kind of don't really use toxic products in your home. How did you come about that? And why have you decided to not use toxic products in your home and on your skin and with your, obviously with your children?
Right. Yeah. The question, it kind of makes me giggle because, like what's the opposite of non-toxic products? Toxic products.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you choose to use toxic
Yeah.
products on
Right.
your children? I don't get it,
That's true.
but it's just part of our culture. Like we don't equate what's sold to us in the stores as toxic
No,
necessarily,
that's a really good point.
but that's exactly what most of it is. I mean, even the products that are marketed to us as green or natural, I mean, that's all just marketing terms that don't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
So one of the reasons that I definitely lean towards the non-toxic lifestyle is this notion that I'm important, that my body's important,
Yes.
that I deserve to be healthy. I mean, I don't know what your cancer rates are in the UK, but in the
1 in
United
2,
States,
I think.
yeah, 1 in 2 people, are predicted to be
Insane.
diagnosed with cancer in the next decade. Like, that's terrifying to
Yeah.
me. I mean, not to mention all the other diseases that we're
Mm.
dealing with. Like, it's a health epidemic. I don't think anyone would deny that
Mm.
we're not doing well with our health. And I'm sure there's tons of factors that play into that. Of course, nutrition, health, lifestyle, environmental toxins, and things like that. But also what we use in our homes. I have this statistic written down that's insane. I think I can't find it now. Oh yeah, here it is. So the average woman applies over 300 chemicals to her face and skin every single day. And these
Wow.
chemicals, have been shown to disrupt the endocrine system, to be carcinogenic. I mean, these are chemicals that show up in tumors, after people
Mm.
diagnosed with cancer, and they go into these tumors and they pick out what these chemicals are. And then there's these chemicals that are in our everyday household products. So I know the European Union, which you guys aren't a part of anymore, right?
Oh God, yeah.
The European Union bans over 1,200 chemicals. So these 1,200 chemicals, the European Union has not allowed companies to put into products to be sold to consumers. The United States has banned fewer than 12.
Oh my goodness.
So at least here in the United States, you have to be your own health advocate. You can't trust that what's sold to us in the stores is not going to harm us. And we deserve not to be harmed. And we are we are the gatekeepers to our home. So like I said, we're constantly bombarded by our culture with crappy food and the things that are in our air or our water or our food, what's being sprayed onto our food. I mean, there's so much not within our control, but what we allow into our homes, that we can control. That's like what you are the gatekeeper. So you get to decide what you allow into your home. And now, thanks to Google and companies like YouTube, people can make their own non-toxic chemicals. They can buy them from reputable sources, like Young Living has tons of household products that you can buy that are safe, that are free from all the crap that you'll find in everyday places. And I know it's that extra, it's like that little bit extra money, but it's so worth it, or if you're crafty, like DIY your stuff, and it's really not that much more money to make it yourself.
That's so true. And even if it is a bit more, it's an investment in your health. Right? Like you said, we deserve to be healthy. And I actually, when you were talking about the 300 chemicals, I read an article that said that they're finding that newborn but unborn babies have 200 chemicals in their umbilical cord before they're even born. Now, like, that is the extent. And I, funnily, in this week, I'm teaching on something you just said about, like, we can't control everything. Like, I can't control how many airplanes fly over my house or how many cars run on the road or if I have to get the tube, but I can control what I'm putting on my skin and in my body and in my home. And that's my responsibility. Like, I can't put that on anyone else. And once you know better, you do better, right? Like, if you don't, I didn't know that, like, scented candles were toxic, or like that my antibacterial spray was, like, you know, putting all sorts of chemicals in my body. But once I did, I was like, I never touched it again. I threw everything away, like, you know. But how did you transition over? Did you do it all in one go, or did you, because I get this a lot, like, I tried to do it in one go and, like, almost fainted, and then I kind of did it slowly. What was your kind of transition with that?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, honestly, I've always been a hippie. So it wasn't, you know, I was always the type that, like, I just, like, couldn't find deodorant that wasn't toxic, so I just wouldn't wear it, you know. And
that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's fine. No soap, fine. So for me, I've always been like a grungy, dirty hippie, and that's fine. And now, since I have kids, I've changed a lot. But my advice to everyone is, like, don't do it all at once. Just one thing at a time. Just pick, like, one thing a week that you're gonna replace, or one thing a month, or two things a month, whatever feels doable and comfortable for you. Just take little baby steps. You know, maybe you're not ready to replace all the toxic chemicals in your home because you're still, you know, super addicted to sugar, and, like, that's more important right now for you. It's to take care of that. So, you know, my suggestion would be to make a priority list for yourself. Maybe at the top of the list is, you know, cut down on cigarettes. You know, that's your top priority. And then maybe next down on the list is to eat more vegetables. And then maybe it's replace my toothpaste, or replace my household cleaner, or get rid of my candles. So any little baby steps. And I assure you, any product that is in your home can be replaced by essential oils, DIY things, you know, a product like from Young Living or another company that you trust that has, like, an alternative that's going to be better for you. I'd say you already mentioned the candles and the, like, the air spray fresheners. That would be top of the list. I mean, those, like, air fresheners, they have formaldehyde in them. They have chemicals that have been shown to be more dangerous to your health than secondhand smoke.
Right.
So, and that's, like, such an easy thing to replace with a diffuser and some essential oils. Like, they smell, like, essential oils just smell so good.
It's a no-brainer.
And then you're breathing in the oil into your lungs. It's getting into your entire body when you do that. And it's good for you. So, like, let's put products in our home that are not just not bad for us, but are also good for you.
Right. Yeah. So you kind of alluded to things that you can make with essential oils and DIY products. So, like, what are your hacks when it comes to the non-toxic or natural products in the home and, like, cleaning your house? Do you have any, like, things where, like, you can get the sink, like, super clean, or, you know, something like that? I love that.
Yeah. So I used to DIY a lot. And I would use a lot of, like, baking soda and vinegar. Like, you can pretty much clean anything with baking soda and vinegar, right? And then, like, if you want to make your own, like, DIY spray, just like water, vinegar, like lavender and lemon essential oil, or thieves essential oil, like, you can pretty much clean anything with that. Or if you have a real tough spot, add some baking soda and boom, you're good to go. But now I'll say I've switched most of that over to Young Living's Thieves household cleaner. Have you ever used that stuff?
I have to just, like, I have to stop for a second. So I ordered the Young Living's, the Thieves cleaner, and they sent it to me, and it was in German. And I couldn't. So for a while, I just kind of left it in the corner because I was like, I don't know. And then I emailed them, and they sent me the English labels. So I had this, like, thing around my sink, like a rim, like lime scale or something, and I tried everything and couldn't get rid of it. I think I even tried baking soda. And so I thought, oh, let me give this thing a go. And I put it on, and literally my mouth had dropped open. I was like, oh my God, it worked. And I called my husband over, and I was like, I didn't even, like, leave it on to soak. I literally just put it on and scrubbed, and it so yeah, I use it now a lot. And I love the smell of it. It smells amazing.
Yeah. I love the smell too. And it's super affordable too. Like some of the Young Living products, I'm like, whoa, I cannot spend like $50 on shampoo or whatever, you know, but yeah, like the household cleaner, and you can use it on every surface. And like, it's like, I've gotten Sharpie marker out of carpet that it's been there forever. And like, oh my God, that literally just came out.
Amazing.
And it's so it's so, pure, like my kids can use it. So that's part of my kids chores is to spray the windows with the thieves cleaner and
Awesome.
wipe the windows, and like they can do it because it's not going to harm their health. Like they could swallow it and they'd be fine. So
that's cool.
I love that stuff. Yeah,
I love that, because I've always said like, don't put anything on your skin that you wouldn't eat. That's taking another step further, like a cleaning product that's what's not going to harm you.
Eat. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to drink it, you know, but
it's not going to kill you, right?
But it's not going to hurt you. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. I love that. So we, Sam and I I was on Sam's podcast about a year ago now, right? And we did a whole episode on weight loss. And so Sam gave some incredible tips on oils for weight loss. So I'll link to that so we don't have to go through it all now. But do you have any kind of specific oils that you think are great for aiding with weight loss and overall health that you could share now?
Yeah. So I'd say if you're really struggling with sugar addiction, dill essential oil, if you apply it to your wrist, has been shown to really help you overcome that sugar addiction, which is so common, I think, for everyone. And then grapefruit oil and or cassia oil are also really good for like curbing hunger and just supporting natural weight loss. So those, I'd probably keep it to that. And then Young Living has a whole line of products called the Sleek products that are specific for weight management that, I mean, I've just seen some incredible, like, get your tissue box stories from people using those products, and they have like a whole regimen for those. But I would just keep it simple. If you want to just get a taste of what the oils can do and help you, I'd get the grapefruit and the dill probably.
And you said with the dill, you put it on your wrists. And what do you do with the grapefruit oil?
With the grapefruit, you would ingest it. So you could add it to your water. Whenever I ingest my oils, I add it to water, and then I add a little bit of honey or maple syrup, just enough to mix it in the water so the oil doesn't float on top. Or you can put it in a capsule and add like a little bit of olive oil into your capsule. So you can do it that way.
I really want to make I really would like to make my own, like, I mean, whenever you talk about capsules, I'm like, that would be so much fun.
Oh, they're so easy. They're so easy to do. Yeah. And they're like dirt cheap to buy at your health food store.
Right. Yeah. I need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I just recommend having if you have a little tincture bottle that has a dropper, fill that with olive oil, because that makes it really easy so you just like add a couple drops of the oil to the pill and then fill it up with olive oil and boom.
So you mentioned just now about grapefruit oil and ingesting it. And I wanted to ask you about this because I use Young Living oils and ingest them and have, never had a problem. But I've seen a lot of stuff recently about the dangers of ingesting oils, and that even if it's good quality, one drop has is the potency of 100, whatever we're talking, lemons, for example.
Right.
Obviously we're not doctors or anything, but what's your view on that?
I mean, my view, I know it's a really hot topic and you can find so many opinion pieces about the dangers of it. But when you look at the research, we know that it does not, if you use a good quality oil, it does not disrupt the natural gut flora. So that was my biggest concern, is this is really powerful stuff. Like thieves oil, for example, is really high in clove, really high antibacterial properties. And I was like, oh, is this going to kill all my natural gut flora? It's not what it does. Essential oils, I know it sounds really woo-woo, but they are essential oils are smart. They go into our body and they find out how they can do the most good, and they don't harm you. So in my opinion, you can't overdose on essential oils unless you were to ingest an oil that is specifically not to be ingested. For example, wintergreen, you don't want to ingest that. So there are certain oils that you want to research. You don't just want to start drinking any old oil. You want to research, is this a safe one to be ingested? But what was I saying? Yeah. So it does not harm our bodies. And that's just from my personal experience. I'm a very sensitive body type. So things I put into or onto my body, I'll react to them. And I've never had a negative reaction to oils, I'll say, except when I was first getting started, because they have such like a detoxification.
Happened to me.
Yeah, they're detoxing to our body, and so they'll stir some stuff up, and you might feel that at first in the form of like a headache or stomach issues or things like that. But you kind of have to embrace that as a good thing, because that's just like stirring all the crap in your body up that needs to come out. So again, I know it's a really hot topic, but I mean, there's millions of Young Living users out there that are ingesting their oils every day. There's been 0 like cases of, harm or death. And I mean, people do it every day, and I've experienced it. My husband's experienced it, and we've never had any trouble. But everybody's different. So if you're ingesting essential oils and you know that you're past that, like, detox reaction phase, and you're still feeling like, what, this just isn't feeling right to my body, then you got to trust that. And that's fine. And the great thing about oils is there's so many other ways that we can use them. So if you want to do grapefruit, but you feel like you don't want to ingest it, just put it on your skin. It'll go into your blood system. It'll help your body.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned about the detox phase, because I remember, I think everyone does this when they first buy a diffuser. They have it on like 24/7, and I was doing that for about 2 days, and then you said to me, just be careful, and I was feeling really nauseous, and I didn't know why. And then my husband goes to have the same thing happen to him, and within a few days it was all good. But initially, it's amazing how just from breathing it in, it's that powerful. It's detoxifying your body. So I love the fact that you can use it alongside all the stuff we're talking about in this week, in terms of like daily detoxification, I always say, like, you shower every day, or I hope we do, you shower every day, you bath every day, but we don't really cleanse our insides. But we don't cleanse our insides every day, and we need to, otherwise we're going to get sick, and toxicity is going to lodge in our bodies and in the weakest part of our bodies, and cause tumors and cancer and serious stuff. So we want to keep that flow going. We want to do that. And essential oils is such an easy way that we can just give our body that extra bit of support. Right. So we'll link to your podcast if people want to learn more about oils, because there's so much like free education there. But what would you say to somebody that's interested in essential oils as a form of specifically kind of health and detoxification? What would you say is like the first step? Because it can feel very overwhelming to know where to start.
Yeah, that's what I love about the Young Living Starter Kit, is it just kind of takes that overwhelm away from you, because they've designed it specifically for people that want to get started. And it sets you up with the diffuser, which is essential. Like, everyone should have a diffuser.
Yep.
You never have too many. You can have one in every room. And then it sets you up with 11 of the most popular essential oils. And like, I call this the power arsenal. So like, with these 11 oils, you can do everything that you need to do and support every system of your body. And you don't have to, figure out which oils do I need to buy. It's all there ready to go. So that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, I think that's a great. I still have some of the oils from my starter kit, actually. So
they last a long time.
They really do. And that's the other thing we didn't really mention, is that when you have good quality oils, you need, such a small amount for the effect, that they actually end up lasting a lot longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I just make body cream from coconut oil and just mix in some essential oils, and I'm done. Like, it's that simple, and it smells amazing.
It is that simple. Yeah. So if anyone's interested in looking at what's in the starter kit, it's a great kit to get you started. And it also gets you your Young Living wholesale membership. And there's no strings attached to that. So you're not required to sell oils or, purchase like a minimum amount every month or anything like that. And then like, the best part, I think, is that when you sign up, through, like, we'll put information on wherever you're putting information for this. If you want to get your kit that way, then after that, Amanda can help plug you into our community resources. So we have these amazing online resources for community support. And that's so important, I think, is to have that support and that community of people who are all just learning together and on this journey together. Is my favorite part.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have one more question for you, and it's kind of going off oils for a second and toxicity, but I've asked everyone this, because as you know, I'm big on this subject, but how important do you feel mindset is to our journeys of health and your specific journey of health?
Is everything. I mean, it's 100% everything. Like if you don't have the mindset that you're worth it, that your health is worth it, that you can do it, that it's possible, then it's just not going to happen. And not to say that that's easy. It's not easy to flip that switch in your brain and go, you know, this is priority. This matters. And that's why I think community is so important, and that can help so much with that aspect, because you've got all these people cheering you on and going on that journey alongside you. Like everything that you're doing, Amanda, is so wonderful. You've built this amazing community around what you're doing. And I think that can really help people make that choice. But like I said, you know, kind of early in this interview, no one's going to make those choices for you. No one's going to hold your health higher than you are. But it's hard to prioritize it. Like I struggle with this all the time because I'm a total workaholic. Like I could work 8 hours straight and like hardly get up to pee, let alone like make a decent meal, you know? So yeah, it happens. And then, you know, I'm a mom. And so I tend to prioritize like my family over myself sometimes. So I'll prioritize like my kid, like I'll make sure my kids take their vitamins, but then like I won't take mine because I'll get caught up in dishes or whatever, you know?
Right.
So I've kind of had this mantra lately, Amanda, that I'll use for lots of different things. So like date night, for example, I'll be like, okay, date night is more important than my dishes. Or,
awesome. I love that.
Or I'll say like when I'm working, I'm like, okay, my, you know, my paycheck is more important than my dishes. Or I think the same thing can come to like health. Like if you can't make the time to exercise, sometimes I'll like look at my giant pile of dishes and I'll say, Sam, my health is more important than my dishes right now. And that's just like a little mantra of you for so many things that I just, you have to make that priority list. And that all comes back to mindset. And like how I end every single one of my podcasts, I end with, you are worth it. You are.
Oh man, I've loved this so much. Thank you so much, Sam. There's been so much in here. I know everyone's going to benefit massively. And I love talking to you anyway. But thank you so much for bringing your expertise and your passion for health and well-being and oils. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. I love spending this time with you. And yeah, thanks so much.
My pleasure. Bye.